My name's Mason, and I'm looking forward to my birthday.
My name's Tot, and I'm looking forward to the semifinal football game this weekend.
Woo, 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 woo.
And this
is What Are We Talking About?
Today, guys, I am starting us a timer. Okay, you see that? That's 35 minutes. And we're starting because...
Today we're talking about the Diddy documentary that we finished yesterday.
Sean Combs' The Reckoning on Netflix. If you haven't seen it, one, please hurry, because there's no telling how long it'll be there. And two, sadly, if you don't want a spoiler, please click off and come back after you've watched. If you don't care, if you'd love to gather your info from us individually, solely from us, that's fine too. We're honored. We may be a little biased. We're just going to let you know right off the bat about that, though. So
this is your spoiler warning. But no, we're going to talk about this crazy documentary. While we were watching it, we already had comments already. Like, we were talking throughout the whole documentary, like, just pausing.
Yes, we are a hold on to the remote kind of doc watchers. Like, we pause Easily. And discuss as it goes. So the doc is a docu-series, limited series. It's 4 episodes. Each are about 45 minutes to an hour long. And it kind of goes from the original, like... I don't want to say invention,
right?
But invention of Sean Diddy Combs to kind of where we are today.
Literally.
Like quite literally where we are today, so.
And not gonna lie, if you were anything like me, I didn't know why Puffy, P. Diddy, however you want to call him, was famous. I really didn't. I just knew he was always in the music industry.
I just assumed.
And he was always there.
Yeah, I just assumed that he had music out back in the day and it just was just... so good that he is just kind of in the mix forever.
Exactly.
That's just always how I saw it.
Sean John too. I used to be rocking that as a baby. You feel me?
We love Sean John.
Sean John with the low cut. But yeah, honestly, like, first of all, starting off, the actual way he rose up into power, crazy. We'll start off with what was a touchy spot for us, which was his first, well, not his first, but when the basketball event where like 5 people died.
It was actually 9.
9.
It was 9 confirmed deaths. So I think, like you said, so to give some background, if you don't know, he started out by forcing himself into an internship position at a record company. So he started as an intern, became buddies with Top Dog Guy, and then forced his way up from there, give him artist accounts, whatever the technical terms for that
made
is.
Him intangible. Like, he can't, you know what I'm saying? They needed him with everything.
Yeah, and so he did that while also promoting events and the artists. Again, inserting himself into every aspect of whatever it was that he was doing. And so that's where this event comes up. They're hosting some basketball celebrity music thing at a school, and there was a unfortunate Astroworld-esque incident.
Part 1.
Who knows? The fact that lack of crowd control tramples are unfortunately something that happen every so often is really crazy. But the way you watched him come away unscathed from this event was crazy.
Yes, and I feel like that's where it started going down. I feel like that was his first acknowledgement that I can get away with this. Literally, like, you became more famous after that, and after, like, you realize you can get away with that, and nobody's gonna bat an eye. Like, what? I feel like I feel like he wasn't completely crazy by that, but like, it was definitely the gears were turning with that. And from there it just got worse. I know a key point for me was whenever they got to what's his name? Well, I don't want to go that far to Lil Rod, but let's just start with just Biggie, bro. I knew that he everybody had jokes about him killing Pac, but he literally set up Biggie. Like,
oh, absolutely. Both of those were setups. Both were setups.
Literally. Like,
absolutely.
I didn't know about the street beef. I didn't know Pac got shot before 5 times, and it was framed in a way that he thought Biggie's crew did it, and freaking P. Diddy's in the corner just conspiring, talking about, I didn't do nothing, but you did though. You ordering hits and all this stuff.
Ordering hits and all that stuff.
With the Crips.
Like, that's great. The way that this man ends up with so many people either in his pocket, scared, or relying on him was insane to watch how it just multiplied and grew.
Literally. And like it was just like everybody was intertwined with him financially, like musically, like everybody like wanted to leave. Let's just get out the way. Like most people, like sane people, does not want to be associated with Puffy whenever they figure out who P Diddy is. But when he's holding a check in front of you, like what else can you do? Like he literally has your album, your rights, and all that stuff. So you're just like, bro. So should I just start back with square one? Nah. So I feel like that's what got a lot of people intertwined with him and his craziness, honestly.
Yeah, and just the shady way that he did it to entice artists, just the way that he built himself up to be so big, and you see the successes, but you not knowing the underlying of the reality of how like that was going to be for them was really hard to watch.
Literally, whenever he gave homie $100 bill. When he asked him for money, pulled out a whole big wad of cash, said, here you go. Buy you some chips.
That was insane. I think something else that just rubbed me entirely the wrong way, pun intended, was that I lost my train of thought. Oh. No, I think it was just the fact that they're as you're watching the doc, in hindsight 2020, it's sad because it's like there are so many times that you can pinpoint that if someone would have had what they like to call like the Gen Z confidence and like the zero fucks given, that it could have wrapped all this up before this happened and this happened and this happened and this happened. The build up. All the build up to what we're seeing today. But then to like think about it from a logical standpoint of where they were and what the time framing was and what the day and age was, it's just like they actually didn't necessarily have the option to do so. And you find out kind of towards the end that some people even tried, and he even got away with it back then.
Damn, he got off a lot. I didn't know how many cases he was in, bro.
He got away with being involved with so many beatings and shootings and
shot a woman in the face, bro.
How do you... Oh, that's what it was. How do you go to the club, okay? You have a gun. Your friend has a gun. Mind you, friend, buddy, partner, coworker, whatever, has a gun, okay? Something happens, something goes off, and both of you pull out your guns, and you shoot a woman in the face, and through this incident, 3 individuals got shot at this club.
Literally.
How is your initial comment, I don't even own a gun, turn into... It was self-defense. It is my gun. It is my gun. Okay, you caught me. You caught me. But I shot it in self-defense. But you hit a lady in the face. She was in the way. Like that. Like it's kind of, that's how Diddy rolls. Like it's kind of like. And then to throw homie, coworker, employee buddy straight under the bus, bullied his lawyers. His lawyers were not even trying. If you look at his little interview he had, and mind you, in prison. This man went to prison.
Literally.
For this. He's in prison. He's getting interviewed while he's in prison. And he's like, literally, my lawyers were snuffed. They act like they were dumb. They'd go up to the witnesses, ask 2 or 3 questions that had nothing to do with really anything.
Paid off, bro.
And sit back down. Crazy work. Crazy work. The amount of things that people will allow themselves to ignore and be okay with for money is crazy to me.
Literally.
Crazy.
I feel like the pinpoint for me, like you said, there could have been so many different opportunities.
There's so many different.
But that moment where he got fired and homie let him take Biggie with him.
Y'all, I didn't know we got parting gifts when we got fired.
When I tell you, that was the turning point. If he wouldn't have got Biggie, I don't think he would have been. I'm going on the limb here. Y'all probably be like, nah, bro. He had X, Y, and Z. Where was that? Whatever it is.
Listen, but he had a reputation. So could he?
Yes.
Could he have? Probably. Would he have been as big? I don't know.
I don't think so.
And I just don't understand. I never knew that it was a precedent that when you got fired, you got an expensive parting gift. Literally. That's crazy. I'm going to fire you because I'm mad at you, but also take our biggest artist with you.
Literally. Like, I know that at that time, like, he had to have said something crazy to get fired on the spot, and there's no way he left out of there with Biggie. Like, because Biggie at this time was already prime time, so he really sold himself like
right, 'cause we already
to any other label.
Yes, the popularity for Biggie was already there, so it's not like he gave him to him not knowing what Biggie was going to be. Like, his popularity was already
there.
So it's like, what did you want it? Like, understand you had a big label with a lot of artists, so you probably could have afforded to drop one, but Biggie,
literally,
crazy.
And the thing is, with that, it's just like, I feel that he was surrounded by such wholesome people, good morally people around him, and he was so cutthroat that in the similar situation, he would have not acted like that at all. He's lucky good people were around him.
Exactly, and those good people around him gave him the fuel to feed his outward persona that he was able to trick and manipulate people with, but also to kind of give people to vouch
literally
for him, maybe not like by word of mouth, but just for the simple fact of, oh, I know homie and homegirl and brother man over there are amazing people, and Diddy hangs out with him, so he has to be. You know,
by association.
That's kind of what you assume. So it's like he was literally a wolf in sheep's clothing this entire time. And then by the time, if you were close enough to him to figure it out, it was too late.
Too late. You were already entangled.
If he was comfortable enough to show you what he was actually like, you were already too trapped in the spider web.
Literally, he has money on you. He has a video of you. He has something on you that's like, I'm not. If you go out to the public, bro, I'm showing this to everybody.
One, not only am I showing it, two, no one's gonna believe you.
No one's gonna believe you. I've gotten off of so many cases. Like, you think you're different.
Like, I feel like if any of this were to happen, maybe 10, 15 years ago, I wouldn't say it wouldn't be a big deal. But, like, I feel like what is helping this situation be more believable is social media, cell phones, and the fact that there are 77 cases still pending. Like, that was everyone banding together and kind of being like, oh, you said something, here I go. I'm going to add to it. I'm going to give you your validity. Yes, obviously, it has to go through the court and whatever else, but blah, blah, blah. That's semantics. But just imagine if one of them, or even kind of like the lady at the beginning, she tried at the beginning to kind of get something going with her being essayed by him, and it just got
thrown out the window.
All gone.
And your image is gone too. I don't think she ever worked in that realm of industry ever again.
No, I don't think she did.
She was shown off, and she was made like to look like she was sleeping with everybody. So it's just like, bro, your image is everything in that type of profession.
Yeah.
Which moves on to your girl.
Are you talking about
Aubrey. I believe she got it the worst. You can argue with me if you want to. She got it the worst because she got the treatment of Cassie. I feel like not as fully because Cassie got beat. I don't know if he beat Aubrey or anything like that, but she never got the fame. I don't believe. Like, I don't know her. I don't know her backstory or anything, but it doesn't seem like she got the kudos or the product after that. Yeah,
because like you said, we all know she was a part of Danity Kane. Danity Kane did not last a very long time. And then, as you can see through the little show, he eventually fires her from Danity Kane.
Literally, on the spot.
And then kind of chucks Danity Kane group to the side and moves on to do other projects. And I think what makes her so sad is her reading the affidavit from that lawsuit and not remembering anything. And it's like, not only is the trauma that you may or may not realize that you have buried so deep, like I said, you were told this decades later from somebody else via lawsuit that you can't corroborate because you can't say if this did or did not happen. To your knowledge, you don't remember anything of this happening, but you have someone looking you in your face and be like, I am 100% certain that was you. Like, that is traumatic in itself. And then two, like I said, there were not saying that this discredits anything from anyone else, but like there was no reward for allowing something like that to happen and moving on.
Literally.
There's just, so it's just like, I feel like it was the most genuine screw over that was displayed on the doc.
All because she said no. All because she said no to sexual acts, and he still forced her to do it.
Which I thought that's crazy. Which some of you like to think out here, like one of the jurors that we'll talk about later, that you can just... It would be so nice. It would be so nice if you could just say no. It would be so nice. Like, I don't think we would have the issues we have today if I and or other people, women and men included... Literally. Could say the word no, and then people would be decent enough to be like, bet you said no. Move on.
So now that we're at this point, we can start talking about the disgusting relationship he had with his son, bro. Like, this nigga, bro, when I tell you that is some crazy stuff to be in freaky situations with your son.
With your father,
and doing that stuff to artists and people that you feel like you can get over with. And I honestly feel like that son, the light-skinned one, was there all the whole, like, bro, he's probably seen so much.
Like, once he was old enough and once Combs decided to bring him in, he was there for the full ride.
Like, bro.
He thought it was so cool. And I'm just like, what?
This is lame, bro.
Like, listen, and I understand there is a level of parental manipulation influence. Yes, because we've established that is the kind of person that Sean Diddy Combs is.
Yes.
But at the same time, there has to come a point when we're grown and we have morals and we know right from wrong that we have to be like, okay, wait.
This is crazy.
This is a little crazy.
And like I told Todd, I always hated the other son. Like, I always didn't like the other son because he looked so much like Sean Diddy Combs, but he wasn't really even in the documentary. It was really the other one.
Yeah. And listen, and I, again, can understand that, it could very well be deeper than we're trying to make it seem. Of course. Obviously, we don't know because he is so on his father's side that we don't have that explanation, or he's so on his side that it just doesn't make sense to me personally to be like, oh, I'm doing this just so he'll leave me alone. Literally. Could that be the case? Maybe, but he just seems a little too willing. He seems
too willing to be a part. That's what I'm saying. Pure evil.
Like, and like I said, nature versus nurture. He could be having some of these ideas just because he has been in the world of him for so long, but some of these ideas are coming straight from Justin.
Literally.
Straight from him. And I'm just like, it's kind of crazy.
Bruh. And this segues for me into, like, the part that was super funny to Lil Rod whenever they were to record the studio and he was trying to hype Diddy up and he said, don't ever do that. Ever. But I love that scene because it signified, out of all these years, out of all the success, he's not talented himself. Like, him himself is not. He has literally crawled, killed, and scratched on the back of, like, everybody to get to the top of all these talented people.
Yes, and his name alone, his songwriters, and his blended voices of his group that he was in, the band and all that, disguised it. So if you notice any song that he's on by himself, the man is talking to us.
Yes.
He's like doing slam poetry. He's not even singing or rapping or whatever. And it probably took him forever to get the cadence of that little song down.
Oh my gosh. And people are questioning, like, bro, how'd you make this hit after hit after hit? Well, we go back to Biggie, bro. I mean, I feel like for a good amount of time, it looked like for years he was piggybacking off of Biggie.
Oh, absolutely.
Like, I know y'all remember him in that all white coming out every step, bro. And then
We're thinking about you as you foot the bill to your own funeral.
Made Biggie pay for that whole funeral himself. And he's not even here on earth.
The entire funeral parade through the town with all the people and all the extravaganceness. Listen, the amount of flowers that were on this car, on the vehicle alone. Listen, if you have ever purchased flowers for anyone in your life, and I'm not talking about from Kroger, because they can get expensive there too a little bit, but you've stepped foot into any flower shop ever, brother. Casket pieces, funeral pieces,
expensive.
Shit's expensive. And that's the tip of the iceberg when you're looking at the way that this funeral played out.
And to say, oh yeah, I'm not paying any of that, which he didn't pay anybody. From my thing, I don't know what, like, he would just pay you up front and then never pay you again. Like, that's some crazy stuff. He did Biggie so dirty.
How do you make your friend's funeral a recoupment for the money that you're now missing out on because he's dead?
That's the most diabolical, evil thing I've ever heard in my life. I'm not gonna lie.
What is wrong? And we out here trying to change documents. We out here trying to change agreements that he signed pre-death.
Like, bro.
Please.
And this goes to show how he's a manipulator and how he manipulates everybody. You don't even have to spend much time for him. From juror number 160. We're going to talk about her just a little bit. Because this was a crazy turn of events of how she did it. She proceeded to name all the ways of how she's a really big fan of Sean Diddy Combs.
By saying, I didn't really follow Diddy, but I grew up in a time where, the music that he was involved in, semantics, babe. You're a fan of Diddy.
You're a fan. Like, just own it. Like, bro, I was so heated at this moment. First of all, when she first grinned.
Bro, the grinning.
Why are we grinning?
The grinning took me out. There's not a single person in this doc that has cracked a smile or laughed unless at the most necessary appropriate time.
Exactly.
I could name maybe a good 4 chuckles that I could think of. And most of them are at Diddy.
Literally. Because he's such an awkward dude, bro. And he always went after women. He never did some crazy, you know what I'm saying? Like, he always had somebody there with him. He never did stuff himself.
No,
which I can't respect.
Made everyone else
exactly.
Everything.
Even putting his son into dangerous situations. You know what I'm saying? Like, but going back to the juror, like, yes, honestly, I am going on a limb in saying that for sure his defendants, whatever they were, his lawyers definitely put them 2 on the stand because they were perfect. They were
perfect jurors for the defense. They were perfect jurors for the defense. The woman that he hired to be the juror analyst, she did the damn thing.
She did her thing.
She earned her paycheck. She did her job. And my problem, I don't know. Listen, I thought this was standard procedure for high profile cases. I think the biggest one of the biggest mistakes in the case altogether is not having the jury sequestered. I think that was crazy.
Yes.
I find that kind of strange. I really do. And I think, listen here, for the most part, I think we're in agreement that what he actually was found guilty for, we can agree.
Yeah.
Is he a terrible person?
Yes. Yeah.
Was there evidence to supply for him to be called guilty for everything up there? No. So, they got over the RICO and the racketeering. You know what? We can give them that. Okay, sure. Okay, we got him for the method of prostitution or whatever the exact wording is. Beautiful. they should have gotten him for the forced labor.
Yes, he was not paying people.
I will die on that hill. I don't know what the definition by law is of forced labor, but I feel like it can't be any more technical than tricking people into working for you and then not paying them. I feel like that's quite literally what forced labor should be.
Literally.
So I feel like they should have gotten him on that, and they kind of missed the ball for that. And the only thing I can agree with Jury 160 with is the fact of, yes, he is a terrible person, but a lot of the things that people were trying to throw into the mix of the trial,
he wasn't getting tried.
He wasn't on trial for that. Yeah. He wasn't on trial for domestic violence. He wasn't on trial for other sexual abuse. He wasn't on trial for putting hits out on people.
I know one was necromancy, like sleeping with the dead or something like that.
Like, he wasn't on trial for these things. Do these things add up to his character and make him a bad person?
Absolutely.
Of course, absolutely. This entire doc makes him out to be the spawn of Satan, but that's not what he was on trial for. And as hard as it is to say, they got him for what they got him for. The man's in jail for 4 years. He's got 77 civil cases pending.
Literally.
We got to see where it goes from there.
Literally. And yeah, just so that's of course we skimmed over, but those were the biggest takeaways. My full overarching takeaway is Diddy was a very much product of allowing somebody to get away with a lot of stuff. I feel like he had a very much childlike nature.
Agreed.
But very calculated. I feel like he took advantage of how calculated he was. If you guys watch Tokyo Revengers, which you probably don't, go watch it. You should. There's this character called Kiseki, and he exhibits so many of his traits of just being the game master, just moving his pawns around and not actually doing the work for himself and screwing everybody over as he gets to the top. Like, that's P. Diddy. I knew that he was very calculated, so I think that's what he capitalized on, and I appreciate, even though people are coming after 50 Cent for releasing it, at the bare minimum, he's allowing us to see stuff that we would have never in our life been able to see ever. So I appreciate that fact. I don't care what reason it was for. Why are we trying to defend a monster like Diddy?
Right. Like you said, it could be, listen, I have been saying this since the beginning of the year, and, with both of our birthdays coming around the corner, the year of 26 and 28, I feel like we aren't petty and haters to our fullest extent enough, and 50 Cent is showing us the example of how to be a hater and petty to your fullest extent.
Literally.
I don't care if this man thought it would just be funny.
You gotta appreciate it.
In my opinion, y'all like to say, you know what? I can say I'm going back on my word just a tiny bit. And I feel like this situation warrants it. Y'all love to be right in the middle of celebrities' business and try to say that they asked for it because they're famous. But then now that 50 Cent wants to put out this doc, it's like, why are we trying to kick a man while he's down? I'm sorry. How many other celebrities, black and women, do we kick while they're down every single day for dumb things, minuscule things that they did, trying to figure out who they're dating, trying to figure out who they've had sex with, trying to figure out, if they're cheating on their husband? That is the freaking tip of the iceberg compared to what this man is over here doing. But now we want to cover it up. Now we want to close our eyes. Now we're going to act like it didn't happen. I don't care. I had a great time watching it. It was crazy to find out. And I think we need to see how these monsters are not only made, but what their MO is. Because I can confidently say, I don't think anyone can get to the top that way no more. I really don't think so.
No. There's too much power in an individual's hand nowadays to allow somebody above them to mistreat them. That bad.
No, yeah.
And the thing is, I love how 50 Cent did the documentary to make it, put it up to your, he just laid out facts. He laid it up to your perception of if you thought Diddy was really that bad or if he was really, really that bad. And the thing is, if you come up with him being he's okay bad, then to each his own. But I think he's a villain because that was crazy. The way it was framed, the way it was shot up, you could see his mannerisms and the way how he handled terrible situations. You saw him at his bottom.
Absolutely.
And you just saw how he did. Are we not talking about when he hugged everybody on the street? At first, I was like, this is so genuine. Okay, I know it for propaganda purposes. He's trying to give a good look for his trial, but you know what I'm saying? He feels at home at Harlem. Gets in the car and says, I need hand sanitizer. I need to take a shower boiling hot.
I need to take a boiling hot bath with peroxide
to get these people off of me. Like,
these people are disgusting.
He viewed people like trash, and the thing is, like, no knock to the jurors, because I don't know how it was presented in there, but like, if you take people's trauma and reinvent, you know what I'm saying, like rehashing it as a weakness or you know what I'm saying,
unstable or too
emotional and can't be used, then you're crazy, because he wasn't doing some regular stuff.
This wasn't regular
stuff. Baby oil. Like, come on, bro. This man in his hotel had like 20 baby oils, bro. So overall, I appreciate 50 Cent. All these people coming after him. If you defending him, I mean, to each his own, bro. Can't be me.
Whatever. I just know that for me, like Mason said, I think the doc was very well done. We were presented with information. We were presented with first person accounts.
Literally, his own team,
his own friends. We were presented with, yes, those people maybe have personal bias. I would say, if you're not media literate or conscious enough to read through the lines of a personal bias, maybe just work on it. But also, the way they presented things is they were never 100% on something they weren't 100%.
Yeah.
Like, me and Mason, through what we watched in the doc, are convinced that this man set up Tupac and Biggie.
Oh, yeah.
But they never said he did. They just showed the situation of how it happened and the coincidences of where everybody was.
Witnesses.
And if you ask me, he set it up. That's just how it looks.
People on record.
And I could be wrong. But the way they presented it, which granted they could have done it that way on purpose. Who knows? I don't care. I'm just saying the way they presented it, the way they told the facts, the way they showed where everyone was, what everyone was doing, Diddy's connections of who he knew, who was there, what they were doing, witness accounts. It just seems that way.
It just seems that way, bro.
And listen, he hasn't been said he's a suspect or charged or whatever, but in my mind, he did it, and I'm gonna stick with that.
I'm gonna stick with that. I'm pretty sure he did like 99% of the stuff. Like, I'm not even joking. like pretty much 99% of the stuff. I'm not gonna lie, but yes. Hopefully there's a part 2. It wasn't disappointing, but we weren't talking about the all-white parties. But I don't think that was the purpose of this documentary.
Yeah.
I think the purpose was for y'all to see who Sean Diddy Combs is, because this man has been thriving in the background for way too long.
Yes, I think and you know what? I love that about the doc too, because I think that was one of the main PR stunts that they put on during the trial, because, like you said, a lot of stuff about the white parties and about Diddy's parties came out. Is a lot of people were like, it's not a crime to be kinky.
Yeah, it's not a crime to be
a freak, or like you can go to a freak off without getting arrested. Like, you know, and granted,
I mean,
that's correct. I understand that.
Right.
But I think that is why this documentary didn't really touch on that at all. It touched on what does fundamentally make him evil and criminal,
a terrible human being,
degree, into a terrible human being. Would I love there to be a secondary to kind of go more into depths on? It would be a hard watch, but to go more into depths on the horrors of what happened at those particular parties. I'm not saying his for show parties, but those particular parties. It would be interesting to find out, because these are it's the same intrigue of trying to know who's on the Epstein files. Like, you know, as traumatic as it might be watching from a triggering standpoint, I feel like I still would watch it.
Yes. And I just wanted to end it off with this, because this is a major topic that a lot of people aren't getting. It's not easy to walk away from a terrible situation.
Oh my gosh, no.
Like, y'all were thinking like, one off, you'll never see this person ever again in your life. Just walk away, meet at a bar, somebody calls you something, and then, you know what I'm saying, let it go. This man, Diddy, had rights to people's foundational money, albums, knew where they live, knew where their parents live, knew where their kids live. Like, and the thing is, by this time, he had already gotten away with like 5+ killings of not only regular people. I'm talking about high profile celebrities. So if he can do that to them, what can he do that? He can definitely do that to me. So that's why I feel like the one juror where he was like, they were just in love. Like, if you don't want to be in that situation, just leave. We tried to see her. We saw her try to leave, and he dragged her down the hallway, bro.
And I just, listen. Like I said to Mason, I was like, you know what? God bless that man that he has zero experience with domestic violence to think that is something that is so simple. But it's just, to me, it's like, one, I've had my own experience of a form of emotional abuse that put itself in the cycle, and even being in it, it wasn't me. It wasn't me. You don't really understand what the appeal is, but there's something there. And I think it's the battling with your own emotions of potential and true love, and having love for a person despite what they're doing. And it's just like, if that can happen to a normal person like me, or like anyone that you know, and it's that difficult to walk away, imagine it times 1,000 when this person is extremely dangerous, and you've seen the things that they've done and can do, and how they control literally everyone around them. And the narrative and all the things. Like, it becomes exponentially more difficult, especially when she's sitting there. And I think what's crazy about it is, I just think that as a normal person, it is minusculely easier, to the extent of most of the time there is in fact at least one or two people that already seen it and have been begging you to see it, and so you have help. As hard as it may be, you have a little bit of help. So I feel like that makes it a minuscule amount easier. Mm-hmm. So many people were so afraid of him that they just watched this stuff happen to her. She had no help. People were watching her get her ass beat in the middle of the street.
And didn't do nothing about it, bro.
Anything about it. And you think that she just walk away.
Bro, stop it, bro. Okay, this isn't real life. If you watch anime, you would get it. There's so many different dynamics when it comes to like somebody in a stressful situation like that with somebody of that much power. Yeah, bro, how do you know, like I said, how do you know you're not about to blow up your house one day? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, Diddy was that crazy, and like, yeah. So that little narrative going on, I don't agree with that at all. Just talking about like, now some people I do. I feel like Lil Rod and what's her name, Clark.
Capricorn.
I think they were in a very gray area, and I feel like they realized it later. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Not to say they were bad. I just feel like they were very much thinking a very lot in like a sense of self-preservation.
For sure.
And in that situation, like, yes, I got the feeling that the reason why they are coming out with these stories and stuff like that is because they were wrong. And if they were never wrong, they probably would have never given this out. But as far as Cassie and Aubrey and them, like, bro, like, this isn't a situation like you can, because it's one of them things where, like, yeah, he has a vendetta. He, like the documentary said, he never forgets when a person does him wrong. So it'll be 10 years later, he'll do something to you, and you'll be like, bro, where'd this even come from? That was Diddy. So yeah, that was our little tidbit, bro. I just wanted to end it off with that because trauma is real, and domestic violence and all that stuff isn't as easy as people think you can just get out of and things like that. So, like, yeah. So end off with that. Any other things? Document was crazy. That's all I gotta say. Like, the document was crazy. Go watch it. I'm not even gonna lie.
If you wanted to hear our thoughts before watching it, go watch it. Like, back it up. Watch it. If you did watch it along with us, I mean, listen, whatever, like we always say, if you have a different opinion, cool, let us know. If you have the same opinion,
please let us know.
Cool, let us know. Like, we are very open with wanting to see perspectives around here. prefacing that, will it change our minds?
Probably not, because he's evil.
Will it change our minds? Probably not. But that doesn't mean that we can't have a conversation
about it.
See where you're coming from. That doesn't mean I'm going to change my mind just because you say something, but that's fine too. And I don't expect to change your mind just because I say something. Literally. That's perfectly fine. Like I said, let us know your thoughts down in the comments, either before or after you watch, whether you watch it at all. What your thoughts are on learning more about him and situations and the victims and all the things. Follow us on our socials. Literally. It's What a Pod pretty much everywhere. On TikTok, Instagram, Spotify. On YouTube, and on Spotify. We drop every Friday. Normally, it's the holiday season, so it might be sporadic for until the new year. Just keep that in mind. We have some new things coming for you guys as well. And please look forward to my birthday vlog. It'll be our first ever vlog posted to the page that will be recorded starting next week. Wow! Next week, yeah. Oh, I'm so excited.
Yeah, yes. As always, this video is sponsored by SignMe, with signs align, compatibility based on zodiac signs. Go ahead, download it. You feel me? And that's a wrap.
That's a wrap.
Peace. Bye.